outline right here. Okay. Just want to start off by telling you a little story about when I first started playing guitar. Me and a couple friends of mine, we decided to go back to his house, play some guitar, and this was the first time I'd ever done that. Like usually I had just been, I just played by myself, I didn't really have a lot of chances to play with other people. And, when I played by myself, my guitar sounded good, it sounded like it always did. But I noticed that when I started playing with a group of people, something just didn't sound right. Like all their instruments sounded good, and mine I don't know, something was missing. Something sounded dull. And then we were playing for a little bit, and I asked one of my friends, I was like, you hear that? Like, what's going on here? And he said, well, when's the last time you changed your strings? And I thought about it, and I was like, it's probably been about 2 years since I changed my strings, so obviously they were, outdated. Mm-hmm. And so, long story short, I changed my strings and that solved the problem. So today, I'm going to tell you, how to change these strings and, and why that's so important. For one thing, it restores the sound of the instrument, obviously. After a while, these strings, with the oil from your hands, it just gets corroded, and it's just gonna, over time, sound real dull when you're playing with a group of people. And then it's a lot cheaper, also. Like I used to have to take it to Little Rock, 2 hours away, and pay somebody to change my strings for me. If I knew the skills myself, that's money I could still have in my pocket. And another thing about going to Little Rock, since it was 2 hours away from where I live, it would also save me a bunch of time to do it myself. But I've been playing guitar for about 12 years now, and I've replaced my strings many times. So today I'm going to go over with you like all the things that you need to do, to do it with, to change your strings, and the steps. So what you're going to need is your guitar, obviously, and I have a 5-string bass here. A lot of them are just 4-string or even 6-string, but mine is 5. But I'm only going to be demonstrating with 1 string today, just for time constraints. And you're going to need some wire cutters, and then you're going to need some new strings of your choice. My personal preference is this brand, DR. But I mean, there are other brands you can choose from. It doesn't really matter. So, that being said, I'll go ahead and show you. So I'm going to work with the first string right here. The skinny one, here. So what you're going to do is you're going to rotate what these are called are tuning knobs, and you're going to rotate it counterclockwise and just unravel it until it's loose enough to where you can pull the string out of the piece right here. Might take me a little bit, but we'll get there. So eventually you'll get it loose enough to where you can just pull it out, and at the end, the body of the guitar, you can just pull it out like that. So, when you open your box, it's going to tell you which string is first and second and all that. So I'm going to use the first string, take it out. And rethread it back here to, this is called the bridge. You rethread it through the bridge, line it up with the rest of the guitar, place it on the tuning knob and just kind of tighten it up a bit. Now you see there's a lot of excess left over. So what you're going to do is you're going to see where it meets the next tuning knob. That's where you're going to cut the string. Go ahead and cut that. And then take the end of it and force it in the middle of the tuning knob right there. Still making sure that it's on the bridge. And then what you're going to do is you're going to kind of crimp it right here so it doesn't fall out of place. And then you're going to turn it clockwise. And of course it takes a minute, you know. But as you're doing this, you know, you want to make sure that the string doesn't come out, so you want to constantly bend it back. And when you know that you're done is when on the tuning knob here you have 2 layers of strings on the tuning knob. And this could be made easier with a tool that you can get at Guitar Center or something like that to make it go a little bit faster. I think we're about there. Alright, and you want it just tight enough, you know, to set it in place for the time being. Eventually you would have to tune your strings, but that comes later. You know, see it fell out of the bridge again, you know, that happens a lot. But all you have to do is loosen it up and try it again. But, you know, due to time constraints, you know, we won't worry about that, but you get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there's not a lot of steps to it. Those are the steps, and those are all the materials that you would need, you know, for restringing your strings. But if you're ever interested in playing guitar or anything like that, it doesn't have to be a bass, it could be a 6-string guitar. You know, I encourage you, you know, to just use what I tell you, you know, what I've told you here, instead of having to bring it somewhere for somebody to, you know, do it for you and having to spend some money. You can do it real quick, and you can save a lot of time by doing that. And I've been, like I said before, I've been playing for about 12 years now, and playing guitar is like one of my favorite pastimes. You know, and the good thing about learning to do this yourself is that you can, you know, instead of worrying about your strings all the time, you can just learn how to do this and then spend more time actually playing the thing. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
My kids played guitar, and I didn't know they had to do all that stuff. Tim and David both